This is just making me mad. What's up, Brite Nation? So I've had some issues with the Jeep for a while that I need to address, and we're gonna go try to fix one of the issues today. Now, this happened back over the summer when Brittany and I went to Colorado. We did that whole week-long trip, and it was all beautiful. Everything was wonderful. If you watch that, you'll remember that I melted the cables to the transfer case. I melted the cables to the shifters. The cable inside the sheathing just pushes out and it won't let you go. So I'm gonna bang on it.
Oh my gosh.
Because my smart self, because I have a Hemi and so much power, decided to climb some of these mountain pass dirt roads in two-wheel drive and too high because the Jeep would just do it. Well, that created a lot of heat from a lot of high load at high altitude, and it melted those. Well, I replaced those. They were fine. What you don't know is we drove it all the way home. We got home, and the next day, the Jeep was misfiring. It started up and it's fine. After about a minute, you'd hear it, and it would just start misfiring really badly. So we were trying to figure out what it was, the clogged injector. Because remember, we raced up that one mountain and I was hitting all those big boulders and everything. Maybe a hose, an intake hose popped off, so it had a vacuum leak, or maybe the fuel pump, there was something going on in the gas tank, or there was some dirt in the fuel tank and it was clogged. It was definitely going. It was a lean pop. You can tell when it's going lean, and it has this lean pop to it, and we couldn't figure it out. I took it to a guy here locally that does Hemis and tunes it, and he checked everything, used brake cleaner all over the engine. And what brake cleaner does is if there's an intake leak, that brake cleaner or starting fluid would be extra fuel, and you'd hear it in the engine. You'd hear the engine change and quit misfiring, or to speed up from getting the extra fuel. That didn't happen. He used 2 or 3 cans of brake clean or starting fluid all around the engine bay on all the connections, and nothing changed. We pulled the fuel pump out. That was clean. We've checked everything to do with it. We checked the tune, and so what we had found was that the driver's side O2 sensor would read fine, and then all of a sudden it would just start pulling fuel. It was reading too much fuel. So the O2 sensor started pulling a bunch of fuel and pulling fuel until it was pulling over 60% fuel from just that one bank. So the diagnostics from the ECU confirmed what I had thought, and it was not getting enough fuel, but it was just on one bank that it was doing this. So we didn't know, we were trying to figure out, of course, from there, O2 sensor, replace the O2 sensor. They're $180 or $250. Didn't do anything. Still the same problem. We swapped them side to side, still didn't do anything. So at this point, we were headed to Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. So this has been going on since July of last year, and we just had to go. And so he goes, you know what? He's let's just turn them off, and it'll run fine, because he has the tune so close that the O2 sensor just makes a 3% fuel change, within 3 to 5% fuel change. So it's gonna be fine. I'll explain more about that in a second. Let me get in here and start this baby. Oh, that didn't sound good. I don't know what that was. Cool, another thing to fix. I have no idea what the heck that was happening. I don't know if that caught that on camera or not. That was strange. I'll have to go back and see if that caught that on camera. That was super strange. It was it didn't... the starter was bad or something, it was hung up. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought so the O2 sensor, he just turned that off completely, because the O2 sensor really only does anything when you're idling, when you're cruising, and what it does, it constantly changes the fuel trims to get a perfect fuel trim. But the tune is so close that it's only ever doing 3 to 5%. So the most I'm off, I could possibly be losing 3% fuel economy. But as far as safety goes, it's perfectly fine, runs perfectly fine, drives perfectly fine. And if I'm in the throttle accelerating or doing anything like that, it's running in open loop anyway, which the tune is perfect there too. So there's not really much to worry about other than over time or on long distance drives. Yes, I could be losing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% fuel economy, which adds up, of course, but it's not detrimental, and it's not 100% needed, but it's very good to obviously have, otherwise they wouldn't have O2 sensors. So I'm going to take it over to Roadrunner today, go see our buddy Logan, and show you how we're going to try to fix this, because we've checked everything that we know to check, other than replace the ECU, because everything has been gone through. I've been driving her around since July, August, no issues, not really any noticed lost fuel economy, but it's also a 426 stroker from America's Most Wanted. It runs perfectly great. It runs smooth. It idles perfect. It starts perfect, other than, I guess, the starter issue. But luckily, I literally have a starter box in here. It's just not 100% ideal. Literally nobody would ever know. I've had people drive the Jeep. I'd never sell it, but if I sold it, like literally nobody would ever know. There's no check engine light because we just put the O2 parameters outside, so it doesn't think there's anything wrong. It's just they're not coming on. So we just put the ECU basically in a perpetual state of open loop instead of closed loop. In open loop, it just runs off the tune, and closed loop, it uses the O2 sensor to make adjustments to the fueling to get it as perfect as possible for when you're cruising and when you're idling. So right now it's just an open loop, and it's that's it. I'm just going to be anywhere from 0 to maximum 5%, but normally it was within 3% fueling. But in my head, I know there's something wrong. In my head, I know that there's something causing that, and so I want to fix it or find the issue so I can turn the O2 sensors back on, even though I've been driving it for months and months now without it. It doesn't keep me up at night, but it does bother me. So I just want to find the issue. I want to find why it's doing it. Like I said, we went over everything you can think of. If you can think of anything else that I didn't check, let me know. But we checked for intake leaks, vacuum leaks, cracked intake, exhaust leaks. We pulled all the fuel injectors and cleaned all the fuel injectors. We checked the fuel pump strainer, fuel filter, everything to do with air and fuel we checked, and put 2 new O2 sensors in it, one on each side, and swapped the plug. And yeah. So we're at my buddy Logan's shop, Roadrunner Automotive. If you're in the Sand Hollow area, anything ever happens, you can hit these guys up. Super awesome. You can see he's got a buggy right here. So he competes in We Rock, and I saw his buggy for sale on the Facebook marketplace the other day. And so I put Brittany's buggy for sale on Facebook marketplace the other day because I think Brittany needs a rear steer. I think she needs a portal axle rear steer buggy to go play with these guys, because the problem is we have a lot of friends with these, and you can't really take Brittany's buggy along with them because these guys are doing crazy stuff that she just can't. Could somebody take her buggy through that? Maybe. Like, it would have to be somebody really, 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 really skilled. And Brittany's good, but like, is like different level skilled, right? But if she had portals, rear steer, and actual chassis ready for this, she could go play. So this is a Jesse Haynes fabrication portal axle buggy. So Jesse Haynes, it's his tube chassis. And then Jesse Haynes also does the Hummer portals that he builds and does the gears and the internals of. And it might even be his own cast design now. But this thing's super sick. So you've got portals, 42s, full hydro. Once I looked at that one and the price, which is not cheap, I looked online. There's a couple other for sale, so I'm gonna take a look at those as well. But we don't need to get the step files fixed, but like, it keeps me up at night sometimes. We got the step out in. As you can see, there's another buggy here that he's working on, which is another portal axle rear steer buggy. Okay, so the plan with the step child, since we've tested everything we know of, the only way I checked for exhaust leaks was to like feel around each joint for it, kind of listen for it. You can get a stethoscope with like an extra hose on the end and kind of put it places. We didn't really find anything, but that's the only thing that'll make sense unless something's wrong in the ECU. So Logan actually has a smoke machine, so he's gonna plug in this machine into the tailpipe, and it's gonna put smoke and a little bit of pressure basically into the exhaust system, which I don't know if my tailpipe's too screwed up to. Oh no, it's not too bad anymore. Oh, it just blows up.
So you can just shove it in there?
That's what she said.
It's like a penis pump.
Let it seal it up. I do know we have an exhaust leak where I capped off that QuickTime, whatever, the flap that I no longer have. I know it leaks around that, but that's so far away from the O2 sensor that can't be what's causing the O2 sensor reading, because that's like 5 feet away from the O2 sensor. I'm assuming the manifold's cracked, or like, I don't know, there's something. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can see anything. Oh. It's gotta be, so the O2 sensor's in the manifold, so it's gotta be either at that clamp or at that guy, or the manifold itself. Okay, so there you go. So you can see it definitely finds its way to any leaks. I knew that was leaking, and that's leaking from everywhere. But the O2 sensors are like 5 feet that way, so that's not it, and that's been leaking like that for a long time. I need to probably put like some copper, pull that off, put some copper sealer on it. That was just something we made one day. I don't see it leaking from any of those. I don't see any leak there. Well, I really thought we were gonna catch a leak. I don't see any smoke. I don't know what to do about that, because I really thought there'd be some smoke coming out somewhere in here and we would have to just reset the exhaust, but I sadly don't see anything. That really sucks. I don't see nothing. I see that back one for sure, but I don't see anything in here by the O2 sensor. And that's the O2 sensor right there. There's no smoke anywhere around. I thought maybe the manifold was cracked, or like it'd be leaking off the manifold to the motor. All right, so we're gonna attempt to pressurize the intake system to try to see. Generally, we would just go right here, but since the AMW, we have this new box, I can't easily pull this box out. It would just be kind of a pain in the butt. So we're just gonna pull this guy here and pump smoke directly behind the throttle body here into the intake to see if we can't see anything leaking from anywhere there. My only thing is with the intake, you would think it would be both sides would be affected, not just one side, but it's, I mean, anything's possible since the runners go left to right, like the banks go left to right, which it could be an internal leak, but then I don't know how we would see that. Anything else, yeah. That's where we're just pumping in the intake, see if we see anything leaking from anywhere. So you can see it's working. It's coming out of the intake here, so it's bypassing through whatever little bit of air gap around the throttle body, coming this way and then leaking out here. That wouldn't be good. We're pressurizing the intake and it's not coming out of the...
No, that would not be good.
Well, I was really thinking that was gonna be it. I thought I was gonna have a aha, we found it. It's gonna be fixed now. So cool. They have an appointment. I gotta pull the vehicle out, get somebody else that's gotta come in. Damn it, a bit disappointed because, yeah, that was my aha. That was my watch this cool trick. I thought I was gonna do something, be like, watch this, guys. And that's not what happened. So I'm kind of out of ideas now. Damn it. All right, so what do you guys, give me what you think. New O2 sensors, no exhaust leak, no intake leak. Checked all the fuel injectors, so it's not like the injectors on one side or the other were not spraying enough or spraying too much. You know, not like we had, because I mean, if it had a leaky injector and it was dumping too much fuel, then the ECU would try pulling fuel out because the injector was leaky and it was just getting too much fuel. So as far as we know, the injectors are good. Fuel pump's good, no intake leak, no exhaust leak, new O2 sensors. What else would cause one O2 sensor to just pull a ton of fuel? So what the sensor is seeing is too much fuel. It's seeing too rich, and so it's pulling. On the short term, it just pulls all the way till it hits like 32%, and then it stores that to long term, and then it starts counting again to 32%, and then stores that, so then it's 64%, so it's pulling 64% fuel, and then I think it just goes into like, it doesn't know what to do anymore at that point. But at that point, that side's barely running because there's no fuel. And that's the thing, it's not like it's actually getting too much fuel, because as it's pulling that fuel, the Jeep starts running bad because it doesn't have enough fuel in that left side to run properly. So it's not like it's making changes and the vehicle's driving better. It's not like the vehicle's bad and it's making changes and it's getting better. The vehicle's fine, it's making the changes and then it starts running bad. I stole Logan real quick to go over his buggy, because his buggy is for sale. I kind of showed it. So you have full hydro, like I said, portals, Willwood brakes. It's drive-by-wire. So you have a drive-by-wire pedal, so you have no linkage or anything to worry about. Very basic setup in here. Assuming he's got a GM, probably 3.9 liter V6. Hooks up a scan gauge that gives him like his probably water temp. It's the same thing I have in my Beamer that I use. And yeah, as you can see, it's all easy to work on. You can get to everything. It makes it super nice. So
it is the #1. So Jesse Haynes, this is the first one he built, and then realized that if you're anything above 6 foot tall, you don't fit in it.
I don't have to worry about that. Neither does Brittany.
Yeah. So the difference in it is this is smaller in this car, but the back half is bigger. If you look at any other ones like Woody's or Riches or anything else,
they just extended.
They moved it, and the back's smaller.
Okay.
I like it because I like to put cooler in the back,
cooler spot with tie downs and stuff.
It's been in trail breaker and everything, but it's prove it.
I'm wanting Brittany to get into that. I don't know if she'll do re-rock, but I know that she wants to go out and play with these guys. I'm gonna stop off on the way home, get Brittany a fizz, because that's her favorite thing to drink. But yeah, I don't know where to go from here. I guess I know it's a short and sweet video. I don't know what to do. The local guy here that tunes Hemis, that has a dyno, he's at his wit's end on it. He had it for like 3 days. He pulled the injectors and has a cleaner and a flow tester. So they all came out perfectly fine. So there was nothing like clogging or sticking there. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. A wiring harness was the only other thing, like the O2 sensor to the ECU, but if you're chafing or rubbing through, it's not going to be like a constant pull. I don't think, like if one of the wires was like arcing out or they're melted together, they could be chafing through somewhere else. I don't freaking know. Oh, I need to pay for a drink. I know I sound like a broken record because I've repeated the same thing over and over, but I just want people to know that I went through everything I could think of. So if you could think of anything else, please let me know in the comments. Got Brittany a 44 ounce, very good doctor with extra cream. I have to drink it down some, make sure I taste test it. Anyway, that's it. I've got more stuff to do. I might as well close this one out because this is just making me mad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, you can find all of your Lite Brite Nation merch and decals at LiteBriteStudios.com. Also, Brittany has a new calendar, a sexy Brittany calendar out. I don't know what to say. I should have thought about that beforehand. Anyway, well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye. This is, not being able to figure this out, and even going in depth, not being able to figure this out is like absolutely terrible for my ADHD. Like I can't sleep at night.